Hi everyone! Today we are going to work on lesson 3 of Unique Learning Systems April unit. And this lesson is called Finding the Right Job for You. We are going to read the story and complete an activity to narrow down our top 3 areas of interest, and then we can look at some other ways to explore and learn about those things. It's super important when we're looking for the right job for us that we find a job that we like, but it also has to match our strengths. We also need to consider our needs so we can think about what kind of help we'll need finding the job or doing the job. I think about different jobs like cooking. What skills do you need to cook? You have to know how to measure ingredients. You have to know how to read a recipe or follow a picture recipe. You need to know about safe food storage. You need to know about how to use kitchen appliances safely. So those are some of the needs or the things you need to know to have a job where you are cooking, whether it's at home or if you are working at McDonald's or Burger King or another restaurant. Another job you could have is a job in housekeeping, either at an assisted living center like Good Sam. We have a lot of students that work at Good Sam, or at a hotel. Now, if you have a housekeeping job at a hotel, woo, you got to know how to make a bed. One of my weaknesses is making beds. So I definitely wouldn't be great at a job at a hotel, but I could practice and get better at making beds. Do I like making beds? No, but I'm going to do it anyway if it's part of my job. We talked a lot about job categories, and we know there's so many different career clusters. Another one of those career clusters is building, and I think you can see that. Oops, wrong hand. Right up here, we see a guy designing a house. If you want to do something like that, you're going to have to be very good at math, and you're going to have to know how to use tools. I got a tape measure here. It's about the only tool I'm real good at using. I can use a hammer and a handsaw, but that's about it. So those are my strengths in the area of building or construction. My list of needs are very, very, very high. What other jobs could we do? Animal groomer we have at the bottom here. Over here. I mirrored my background so the words are the right way. To be an animal groomer, you have to be familiar with different breeds of dogs. You have to be comfortable doing pet care. My dog was supposed to be down here to demonstrate how I would brush a dog. But you also have to be able to clip nails and give baths and work the different equipment. Here's my toenail trimmer for the dogs. And you might need to have some education as well. We're not going to talk about all the different categories because I'm going to switch us over to our story, and we'll read that and look at some of the categories that are offered through that option here. Just a moment here. Sorry, guys. My mouse is stuck on my table. All right. Here we go. You should see Unique Learning Systems now. And this is the story we're reading today, Finding the Right Job for You. This is April lesson 3 on Unique Learning Systems. So if you log in on the student login, you'll be able to read this. If you look over here on the right-hand side of my screen, you can see there are 3 different levels of the story. There's the advanced, higher, and regular levels. I'm going to read the advanced level because it has the most information, and I'd like you to do a few activities related to this. If you want to go back and reread or gain a better understanding, you can read any of the other levels to help you out here. And this is just an article, so it's a shorter story. I'm going to try to zoom in just a little bit here. Finding the right job for you. You can see here at the top of the page, there are several different jobs. What kind of jobs do you see? There's someone sweeping, so that could be a housekeeping or custodial job. That's a kind of job you could have at a lot of different places. We have housekeepers at Pathways. You can work in custodial at Lifescape. You could also do housekeeping in some of the Good Sam's or hospitals or different areas. And a lot of restaurants have people that do just cleaning, bussing tables and wiping things down. Over here, we have a job painting. Now, what kind of skills or experience do you need to have if you are going to paint as part of your job? You're probably going to have to know what kind of paint to use, what the best materials for painting are, and how long your paint needs to dry. So there's a lot of different things, details to look at when you're planning a job like that. And then last but not least down here, this looks like an office job doing paperwork and filing. Now I brought my little handy dandy filer out here, and I'll show you that it's in here, and everything is in here alphabetically. So alphabetical order. So if you want a job where you're working in an office and you're doing filing or delivering mail, you probably have to know how to read. So that needs to be one of your strengths. If reading is a weakness for you, there are ways around that. There are apps on your phone you can use to read, or you can have a coworker assist you with reading if reading is a big part of your job. Okay, let's get back to the story. Finding a job can be hard work. There are many different kinds of jobs. It's important to find a job that is right for you. The right job is a job that matches your skills, or what you're really good at, your interests, what you like, and your needs. What you might need help with and what accommodations or help might be available at your job. So skills. When we're looking at a job, we want to match our skills to the job. Skills are things that you have already learned how to do. This could be things that you learned in school. Some skills you learned in school, like reading, writing, adding, and subtracting. These are important skills. But if you can't do these things, it doesn't mean you can't have a job. It means we look for a job that you don't need those skills to do. There are other important skills too. Being creative, knowing when to talk and when to listen, working together with others on a team, and finishing or completing a job are all important skills. And those are things we work on a lot at Pathways and things you can work on a lot at home. Being creative, know when to talk and when to listen, work together with a team. Who's on your team at home? Your family. And then work together to make sure that job is completed. So those are skills, the things that you already know and can do. Does that mean we like all of those things? No. I can add and subtract. I do not like doing math, but when I have to do it for part of my job, I work together with my teammates and I make sure I get it done. Next is interest. Interests are the things that you like, the things you enjoy. If you have a job that you like, then you will want to work more. I'm going to tell you a secret quick. I have a job that I like, but to be even more honest, I have a job that I love. So I really want to work, and I'm excited to get back to work soon. So interests are things you like doing. If you have a job you like, you want to work more. If you enjoy talking with people and helping them with an issue, You might like a job in a retail store rather than a workhouse. A warehouse, excuse me. So a retail store would perhaps be, I'm going to use Goodwill as an example because we have some employees, some students who are employees at Goodwill. And you have the option to work in retail. That means that you work in the store up front. You say hi to customers. You say, can I help you look for something or find something? You might use the cash register and figure out their total and say thank you and have a nice day. You might also, if you don't like working with customers, don't like talking to or helping people, you might prefer working in the warehouse at Goodwill. And the warehouse is the back of the store, and that's where you receive donations from people. And you go through and sort them out. You put shirts in one pile, pants in another pile. You hang them on hangers and get them ready to go out on racks. So you work by yourself independently. Another option in the warehouse is typing information on the computer to add books into their system. So you go through and sort donations of books and type it in the computer. So you have two different options at one place. At Goodwill, you can work face-to-face with other people, or you can work at your own desk or work area all by yourself. That's something that's really important to think about. Do you like working alone or with other people? Another thing to think about, you may like to work inside rather than outside. Or you may like to move around and walk instead of sitting at a desk. So when we're talking about the jobs at Goodwill, if you work in the retail area, you are walking around, you are mostly standing on your feet. Now, if you get tired standing or walking around a lot, is that job for you? Maybe, maybe not. You could ask for accommodation, maybe a chair to sit in. But if you have a job where you're sitting at a desk and you're typing all day or filing papers in your file system all day long, you might get tired of sitting. I am one of those people, so I have to take a break and get up and move around once in a while. So those are things to think about too. You might like to work inside in an office job, or you might like working outside, taking care of plants or animals. It's important that you and your transition team know what your interests are. We need to know what you like to help you find the right job for you. Last but not least are needs. Right now, I need a drink. The first two things we talked about were our interests and our skills. So interests are things that we want or would like. Needs are things that we have to have. So needs are things you must have in order to do your job. Everyone has different needs. It's important that you know your needs. You may have a need for help with speaking, so help talking, seeing, or hearing. Examples of ways we could help you speak would be to use a communication device or a picture communication board. Ways that we could help you see might include having a magnifier to put over your screen to make everything bigger. And ways to help with hearing. You may need to wear hearing aids. You might also need to just make sure that the person who is talking to you is looking right at you so you can see their mouth while they're talking. Or perhaps if hearing is an issue, written directions would help. So here it says, needs are things you must have. I'm going to stop that. Here it says that you might need directions with pictures and words. So I showed you my schedule sample, and it's all words, no pictures. If reading is too hard for you, is this page going to do you any good? No. So you might need a schedule or directions with pictures and words. Who can help you with that? That's right, your job coach or your teacher. You might need to sit instead of stand. For some people, standing long periods of time can be hard on their legs or their backs. And some of us just don't have the energy to stand for a full shift. You might need to use a calculator when counting out change for a customer. Now remember, we talked about this, that some jobs say you have to be able to read or you have to be able to do math or count money. We can always put in an accommodation, just like it says here. If you need to make change, you might have an accommodation that says you can use a calculator to help you make change. The important thing about things that we need at work is that you have to be an advocate and speak up for what you need. Be sure you ask for help if you need it. When you're ready to work, you'll want to find a job that is right for you. Remember, the job should match your skills, your interests, and your needs, all three of those things. It's important to tell your team your skills, interests, and needs. Then you will find the right job for you. All right, I am not going to read through the next two versions. These are the simplified versions. This one has a little bit less text. And then the last one here has symbol supported text, which is kind of nice because it just gives us some pictures to look at when we're talking about things we may need to do at work. And these symbols are all familiar, very similar to what we would use at Pathways. The job activity that I would like you to do to go with this, lesson 3, finding the right job for you. The activity is called 3 Jobs I Like. And it looks like this. I'll zoom this out just a little bit. You should have gotten a worksheet in the mail from me that looks just like this. It says, and then you should have a sheet of pictures to cut out, and then you can pick 3 jobs that you would like. And I'll do one for me. I'm going to put 3 jobs that I might like. I'm going to pick fast food worker. And I'm going to tell you, I used to work at Culver's, and I did like working there. I worked there for 2 years. Another job that I might like would be, let's see, a librarian. Now I know to work at a library, I have to be able to read and put books in alphabetical order by their author or their title, depending on what kind of book they are. And then our other choices here are grocery bagger, gardener, babysitter, construction worker, clerical. That would be doing paperwork. And I'm going to pick that as my last one. Clerical. What job would I like the most? Teacher is not an option on here. So I'm going to say the job I would like the most is clerical because some of the stuff I do is clerical. I've been doing a lot of computer work since we started doing virtual school. And then below this, below the jobs that we picked we would like, we have to say the reason we'd like them. I would like the clerical job because it would give me the chance to probably talk to other people. I get to call and FaceTime a lot of you. And because I would get to help others, keep things organized. The next part of this assignment are to either cut out or do this activity on your Chromebook or iPad. You can cut out the pictures or you can just write in the words if you don't want to cut and paste. 3 jobs that you would not like. Now think about the skills you need if you're going to be working inside or outside. What would you like? What wouldn't you like? I have a garden, but I would never want to be a gardener. because that means that you have to work outside. It's hot, it's sunny, there's bugs. Blech. No, thank you. I would also not like to be a construction worker. Again, because you are outside, it is hot, it is hard work, and my arms are kind of wimpy for it. And last but not least, what's one other job that I would not like? I'm gonna pick garbage collector. It's a dirty job and somebody's gotta do it. That is not the job for me. The job I would like least is construction worker. I would not like this job because I do not like to, well, I'm gonna say use tools. I like to use tools, but I don't know how to use a lot of tools. I could learn how to use more tools, but I would not like this job because I don't like to use tools, and I don't want to work outside, but that's not an option. So I'm going to say work on my feet. I don't want to have to be on my feet all day long to do this job. So this is the same activity I would like you to complete. You got to see the choices that I had. Your choices will be the same. If there is a job or a career that you're really super interested in that's not on there, go ahead and write it in with a pen or pencil. Save those. We're going to put these 3 jobs I would like. We're going to put this activity in your transition passport when you're back at school. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great day. Bye.